on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a great day today. Well, this week in movies, we have a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. The first thing, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. We're going to be talking about Saw and how Saw has been rebooted now. Well, not really booted. It's been bought by Blumhouse, but it's not just as simple as Blumhouse buying that. There's a lot more to it. So, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. First thing we're going to talk about is Jurassic World. Jurassic World Rebirth has finally got the first reactions. Jurassic World Rebirth is here, and it is going to be, from the looks of things, a little bit decisive. Jurassic World Rebirth, first reactions, let's go. So, the Variety.com, they had their person that went to go see the movie and gave their first reactions to it. Remember, none of these are actual reviews. These are just their reactions, which is kind of a little mini review, but take that how you will. So, Variety's Jazz Tanke said that Jurassic World Rebirth is a roaring triumph and perfect entry into the franchise. Loved all the new dinosaurs, and boy, are some scary. Get ready to fall in love with Dolores. Loved it, and what a beautiful homage to the original. So, I don't know what really that means, but it sounds like they liked it. Next one up is Perry Nemiroff, and you've probably seen her before you go to the movies. She's part of Fandango, and she went to go see the movie, and this is what she said. Rebirth is a winner. In her reaction, she added that Gareth Edwards, if you didn't know, Gareth Edwards did Rogue One, he did Godzilla, and now he's doing Jurassic World Rebirth. But she said that he knows just how to bring a Jurassic story to screen. I adore the practical movie magic of the original film. Over the years, the franchise has embraced more CGI. Rebirth is indeed loaded with effects-heavy set pieces, but those digital elements work especially well here because Edwards knew exactly how to ensure that the film had that reach out and touch it texture, particularly by choosing the film in real locations and shoot the movie on film. So, looks like Gareth Edwards really embraced both the CGI plus the practical effects, which, if you know me, I love the practical effects, and that's kind of what made the original Jurassic World so memorable. It still holds up today. I just watched it the other day. Fantastic. Here's where it threw me off. Here is where I'm a little bit worried about this movie, about Jurassic World Rebirth, where before I was really looking forward to it. I thought that they were going to nail it as far as going back to the original, as far as the horror elements, and kind of less with the action that the last few ones did, along with a few other things, because those movies were wild. But anyway, the Flick Pick. A lot of you probably know him here on YouTube, John Flickinger. He went to go see the movie, and this is what he had to say. He was a lot more negative on it, and that's why I'm worried. He wrote that it's a solid concept of the movie, but it just feels blah. He added, it's a string of forgettable scenes that go nowhere. The characters are dull, there's zero chemistry, and I found myself rooting for the dinosaurs just to feel something. The story plays out like a studio checklist, nothing gets explored, and there's no heart in it. That's what worries me, y'all. That's kind of scary because this movie is such a quick turnaround from Jurassic World Dominion, which that was a dumpster fire, right? I don't know anyone that really likes it. If you like it, awesome. But the fact that this movie is already coming out about 3 years after that one, they fast-tracked this thing, even though everyone did not like that movie. So this review here from John Flickinger is kind of more so on what I was worried about, kind of what I expected, not what I was hoping for, but I do trust him. I do trust his judgment, so that's kind of interesting. But before we move on, if you don't know what Jurassic World Rebirth actually is, let's see. It's set about 5 years after Jurassic World Dominion, and it centers around a group of mercenaries and scientists who venture to a forbidden island on a mission to retrieve dinosaur blood that could lead to the cure for heart disease. Pretty important stuff. It's going to feature, it's going to feature Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey. And I have a recap of the entire franchise coming out in about a week or so keep a lookout for that. Let me grab the camera for a Lamar edit. Grab the camera from a Lamar edit? What do you mean? Steven, what does that mean? Like, yeah, Dylan, the new dinosaurs, I don't know how I feel about that, because I do like that they are going to kind of mix things up and not just give us an actual dinosaur like we've seen this entire time, and they are mixing it up. And that's probably what they mean as far as the horror elements and making them scary and like really disfigured and stuff. Probably not going to fit in the grand scheme of things, but I do like that they're trying to do something different. Let's see. Speaking of, yeah, is there anyone here watching that actually likes Dominion or Forbidden Kingdom or Fallen Kingdom, the one before that? I feel like Jurassic World was such a good like reboot, and then they just absolutely lost track of what they were doing and just kind of went off the rails with it, kind of like Star Wars, that last trilogy. Very similar things there. Let's see. The next thing we're going to talk about is something that I've talked about a lot on this channel, a lot on the live streams, is Clayface. DCU. You finally have a actual person that's going to be playing Clayface in the DCU. So this movie is going to star Tom Rhys Harries, and for a lot of you, probably don't know who that is. I don't know who that is, and that's a good thing. I like that they're choosing someone that isn't a well-known actor. That way it's not kind of like muddled of like, oh, that's all you see is, I'm gonna use Tom Cruise as an example. All you see is Tom Cruise instead of the person that he's trying to play in the DCU. Let's see. The Clayface movie is gonna be from the Speak No Evil filmmaker James Watkins. Now, if you haven't seen Speak No Evil, it should be on Peacock. It's a great, I guess you'd call it a remake of the movie that came out like 2 years before that. So yeah, it's a very quick turnaround for the remake. It's an American remake, which those tend to not be that good, but definitely go see Speak No Evil. It has James McAvoy. It's awesome. So when James Watkins actually got the job to do Clayface, I was pretty impressed with that, pretty happy with that. Let's see. So some details on Clayface, other than just that we got the director and now we have the person that's going to play Clayface himself. The movie has about a $40 million budget, which is very, very, very low, and I like that. It's going to have that gritty, raw, kind of make use of what they can with the budget they have. And those movies, those type of horror movies, usually tend to do pretty good. So according to sources, it centers around a B-movie actor who becomes a walking piece of clay after injecting himself with a substance in an attempt to keep himself relevant. Very reminiscent to last year's The Substance, which is an awesome body horror movie, and that's exactly what this movie is going to be. Body horror through and through. Now, the movie is written by Mike Flanagan, the guy who did Haunting on Hill House, the guy who did The Fall of House of Usher over at Netflix, and his new movie, Life of Chuck, is playing right now in theaters. Very good movie. Go check it out. But he wrote the story, and he says that he based it mostly on the 90s animated Batman animated show that we all grew up watching, right? Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill. So the stories in that featured Clayface, that's what this movie is kind of drawing inspiration from. So if you like that, you have a lot to look forward to. Plus, James Gunn reiterated, this is rated R. This is going full on body horror, no holds barred, $40 million budget. They're banking on it. It's going to be cool. Now, going back to the actor that was actually got the job, Tom Rhys Harries, he has been in, because I didn't know who he was, like I said. I don't think a lot of people do. He's been in the Apple TV series Suspicion. He's been on the Netflix show White Lines, and he had a role in the 2023 Gerard Butler action film Kandahar. I haven't seen any of those. Not one of those. But once again, I kind of like that, and that they're making even David Cornsweet in the new Superman. Not a lot of people know who that is. And I think that's going to be very beneficial going forward with the character of Superman because, like I said, it can be very distracting if it's a very well-known actor or actress in these roles, because then you can kind of start to see the actor instead of the character that they're playing when they're playing dress up in, comic book movies and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be very beneficial. Let's see. Next bit of news we have is Saw, the Saw series. We all know Saw, one of the greatest twists in horror ever. I remember when I first saw that and I could not believe how that movie ended. And now we're like 10 movies in. So it's gone kind of stale, not really a lot of new ideas with that. But now, here's the big news. Saw is moving to Blumhouse. So a couple of things with that. Blumhouse bought half of the rights to the Saw franchise. So they don't own it directly. They're still partnered with Lionsgate, but they are moving forward. And I think that this is kind of the injection that this movie needs to stay relevant, to stay fresh, because of a few things, okay? The people that owned it over at Lionsgate said that it was the right time to pass the baton. So creatively, they're giving it to Blumhouse, but they're still going to kind of work together. And it was time to tell new stories. They have no stories to tell. First of all, that's what I'm saying. But the big thing here is that it's going to Blumhouse. And Blumhouse owns Atomic Monster, which James Wan owns. So the James Wan directed the first Saw. Him and Lee Whannell went and wrote it, and they filmed it together, and that's like their baby, right? They had this franchise, it was theirs, and then things happened, and now they don't have it. But now they have it again. And you can only imagine the ideas that they had after all this time after the first Saw, developing new ideas, kind of seeing what they're doing over there with it after all these years, and being like, what the hell are they doing over there? Like, none of that makes sense. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us for the Saw franchise. Hello, Charles. Let's see. All right. So, let's see. Yeah. So once again, James Wan, Lee Whannell, very hyped because the first 2-3 Saws were great. So let's see what they do with that. There's no word yet if it's going to be a reboot, if it's going to be a sequel and just kind of forgetting what happened before. No one really knows. I'm kind of banking more on a reboot, just a full-on reboot. Let's see, reminds me of Disney buying Lucasfilms and then taking a dump on their creative control. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Yeah. It's exactly it. Like, I hope that creatively, the Saw franchise gets better. It's hard to like. It's so hard. It's like a double-edged thing that I've talked about before on this. If you love a series and you keep going to see them, and the movie makes money, they're going to keep making them. But when they keep making them, the quality dips. So it's very difficult to like support this thing because you're excited about it, you're a fan, but then the studios just realize that you'll go see whatever they put out. Very difficult thing there. So hopefully this gets the Saw franchise back on track. James Wan did put out like a press release, or a statement, I should say, about this. He said that Saw holds a special place in my heart. Coming back to this world with a fresh perspective is both thrilling and deeply personal for me. This will mark a significant creative return to Saw for the first time since the early days, and I'm very much looking forward to embracing the original spirit while pushing the legacy forward in a bold, unexpected way. So, how do you all think, or what do you all think about it? Is it going to be a full-on reboot? Do you want to see a sequel to what they've done before, or do you have any other ideas of what they could do with it? I'm looking forward to it because I kind of dropped off after about the fifth one. So anything that they do now is going to be very fresh to me. Let's see. The next bit of news is, this just came out like a day or two ago. Pretty big news as far as the MCU goes. And this does get me excited for this, okay? Jon Bernthal, the guy who plays the Punisher in the Daredevil show, he had his own series on Netflix. Well, he's going to be in the new Spider-Man movie. It was just reported, I believe, through Variety, but he is now locked in to be Punisher in the Spider-Man movie. Very weird. And that's why I'm excited for it, right? Punisher is this brutal guy who, you've seen him. If you've seen the show Daredevil or his Punisher movie, or show, you know exactly what he brings to it. This is raw. This is hard rated R type of deal, type of violence. Then they're throwing him into a Spider-Man movie. So what does that mean? Two things with that. They're going to push the PG-13 limit, I'm assuming, in Spider-Man, because why else would you put a character like that? Why not put Daredevil in here and make it a little bit more safe, as far as, I know it's still a very adult show, Daredevil is, but the characters, Daredevil and Punisher, very different. Very, very different. So they chose to put Punisher in this. It's going to be more street level, I'm assuming. There was that debate, is it going to be street level, or is it going to be, multiverse stuff? And it sounds like with this casting in Spider-Man, it's going to be more ground level. And that's exactly what I want to see. But I do think it's going to be a lot more adult and a lot more, it's going to push that PG-13, what they can get away with if they're going to have Punisher in there. And if it doesn't, if it's a very safe and he doesn't really do anything, it's a wasted cameo is all it's going to be. And that could be what it is. He's cast in this, and I'm over here super excited. I know a lot of people are, but there is that chance that it's just a quick cameo and it means nothing. We've seen that time and time again. But let me know in the comments what y'all think. Is that something you want to see in a Spider-Man movie? Never thought that would happen, but here we are. So the next bit of news is a really quick one. Sinners. Everyone saw Sinners. Everyone loves Sinners. It is coming to Max on July 4th. Now, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't know what that is, going dark. I'm not going to talk anything more about it, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. I was actually looking at my letterboxd of all the movies that I saw this year and kind of ranking them. Sinners for me, personally, kind of in the middle. It's definitely more on the, the better half of the middle, but it is more so in the middle for me. Really liked it. I think it did a lot of things well. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. July 4th on Max. Now, as far as what I saw this week, I saw 28 Years Later. I went to go see that one. Second most anticipated movie of the year for me. I was really looking forward to this, and for the most part, it delivered. Okay, I have a video coming out tomorrow of why it delivered and why this is one of the better legacy sequels and the things that it did right, and it didn't do everything right. I do talk about a few things that it does wrong, but that video will be out tomorrow, so keep a lookout for that. I'll go into a little bit of detail with it, not to give any spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. Let's see. Would love to see Punisher mix in with Daredevil, with the Spider-Verse, especially to pick up on Matt Murdock's cameo. Let me answer this question real quick, and then I'll go back to 28 Years Later. Would love to see Punisher mix in with Daredevil within the Spider-Verse, especially to pick up on Matt Murdock's cameo. And yeah, exactly. So that's kind of okay. So going back to what I was just saying about Punisher potentially just being a quick little cameo, little nod of like, hey, this is still the MCU, the same universe, whatever they want to say. I hope that they go full on with it. Like, I hope that he's in it and he is one of the main characters, similar to how Doctor Strange was in No Way Home. But I mean, bring in all of these ground level heroes. We don't need this huge multiverse dimensional thing. Like, there are certain heroes and certain characters in this universe that work better in certain areas, right? That's how I feel. And if they bring in Daredevil, even all the Defenders, like apparently Jessica Jones is supposed to be in the next season of Daredevil. So bring in her, like bring in all these characters and kind of have them be their own thing within the universe, and maybe bring them out for, would it be Secret Wars after Doomsday, just stuff like that. Just keep it all where they should be. So I'd definitely love to see that. Going back to the 28 Years Later, very solid movie. I think it was worth the wait. They're not zombies. I might call them zombies here and there, but they are infected, so don't get it twisted. They are infected. I like how the movie showed the evolution of it. So if you watch The Last of Us, they talk about how the clickers and once again, I'll just use the word zombie, how the zombies in there grew over the years, right? They have the bloaters, they have something else that you'll see in season 3, which is terrifying. But there's different levels of these things, and they really show you that in 28 Years Later, of those crazy, like twitchy, fast running infected. Those are in this, and there's plenty of them, but there are multiple other variants of it, and it is so cool to see. I actually wasn't expecting that. That was the farthest thing from my mind, and then when they actually showed it, I was like, oh, okay. There are these things in there, and it's not really a spoiler, but there are these things in there called alphas, and it's these super huge, like, infected, and they kind of lead the others. It's not like they're communicating as far as like, you go that way, you go this way, and we'll flank the humans, but they are just, it's terrifying. It is terrifying because they are a force, and they use them, and they use the alphas, and they use all the other infected very sparingly. And that's one of the things that I loved about 28 Years Later, is that it's not just action in your face, all the infected in your face, and that's all the movie is. It's not very slow, but it is slow, and it's definitely zoned in on all the human characters, especially Spike, the young kid. Like, he's the main character of the whole movie, and it follows him, and they use the infected sparingly. It works really well. As far as what I didn't like about it, I don't know if any of you know this, but the movie is filmed with iPhone Pro Maxes, iPhone 15 Pro Maxes, and if you look it up online, there are pictures of the actual setup. It's insane. It's crazy of how they were to do that. And for one, I liked how gritty the movie looked because they were using that, and it was very like guerrilla style, like getting in there with them, and just kind of shaky, and just it looked dirty, and that's exactly what you would want in this world. But the contraption that they use, and the picture that you'll see if you look it up, is this huge U-shaped thing with all these Pro Maxes all over the place. And in the movie, it cuts really weird during a lot of like the zombie or the infected action scenes. So while I get why they did it, definitely a creative choice, and I do like it. I wish that they kind of didn't do that because it is kind of jarring. Is all I'm saying is that the way that they use that is a little bit jarring. Didn't ruin the movie, didn't ruin the sequence for me in the least, but that is something that I maybe could have done without as far as the weird edits. And once again, probably a creative standpoint, but I could have done without that. A plus cinematography. Yeah, those alphas are wild. Another variant, once again, not a spoiler, is these really slow things. These really slow, very big, fat, infected things that are on the ground and they crawl. So they're very silent and they're not fast. So it's a different level of fear of how they can sneak up on the characters, whereas the other infected just run straight at them. So there are different variants like that. If you liked, basically what I'll end with this here is that if you liked any of the franchise of 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, you're gonna dig this. There's gonna be a point at the very end, basically the last scene that you see in this movie is absolutely insane. Like, I can tell you how insane it is. I can use every word in the dictionary to describe how insane and how tonally the movie changes. I've never seen anything like it, but this movie does it. And after thinking about it, I saw it opening night, so I've had about a day or two to think about it. And I've talked to other people about it, and it makes sense. So if you go see the movie now or after this, and you see that ending, just take a deep breath, think about it, go online, look it up, because it does kind of foreshadow, or it doesn't really foreshadow, but you do understand once you see who that person is, and you look back on the movie, you kind of see where it's going. Another thing to keep in mind is if you go see 28 Years Later and you see that ending, there is another movie that's already done. They're in post now, but it's supposed to come out in January. It's called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. And once you see this movie, you'll know exactly kind of what that is. But the movie's already done. They're waiting to see if this movie, 28 Years Later, does well at the box office before they go on and greenlight the last one. It's supposed to be a trilogy, so we'll see how this movie does over the weekend, over the next few weeks, and hopefully we get a third one. But there is another one coming out in January, which you would think they'd be promoting right now. Maybe a little clip at the end of this movie or a little trailer or any nod to it. Maybe in the news, just release an article saying, hey, there's a sequel to this coming out really, really soon to make more sense of that ending. But let me know what you think about 28 Years Later in the comments. Also, I have a poll on my channel. If you go to the community post of asking you all, what'd you think about it? So you can even vote on that and see what other people are saying about it. Let's see. The other thing I want to talk to you about, kind of staying on topic with 28 Years Later, is I'm just going to rank them real quick. I'm going to rank the 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks, and 28 Years. So, a little bit of history, really fast. 28 Days Later, I saw it when it came out. I didn't go to the theaters to see it. I saw it, at home. I think we rented it. It was back in the days of Blockbuster and all that stuff. That movie had a very, very dark, grungy, very kind of independent film type of deal with it, very feel to it. And that's kind of what 28 Years Later kind of has to it a little bit. Not quite that filter and how that looks, but 28 Years Later, definitely you can feel the soul of 28 Days Later in this. So 28 Weeks Later, I bought that one. I watched it all the time. I've seen that one the most. And now having seen 28 Years Later, I'm gonna have to put it, I'm gonna go from top to bottom. 3, 2, 1. 3, I think I'm gonna go 28 Weeks Later. So when I saw the most, I like that one a lot. I just think that the other two do things a little bit better. One thing that I thought was really weird about 28 Weeks Later, and if you've seen it, awesome. If you haven't, kind of a spoiler a little bit, is the dad. The dad that does the thing at the beginning and then he gets infected or whatever. How is it that the kids throughout the movie keep running into him when they are going on their mission to get out and there's tons of infected everywhere and there are people everywhere and they keep running into their dad? Kind of weird. Didn't like that. I think that he should have just been gone after that point, but I always thought that was a little bit weird. For my second movie, I think I'm gonna have to go 28 Years Later. I think it's still a little fresh, and that could jump to one, but I think 28 weeks later is going to be solid at number three. 28 years later, as of right now, number two. For all the reasons that I said before, I think it just works better. I think it works really, really well for what they want to do. I like that they focused on the kid as our entryway back into the world. I think they got creative with, okay, how does this world look after how many years since 28 weeks later? I say in the video that I'm going to drop tomorrow, I have a little statement that I say it feels like this world moved on without us. And now we just came back into it. And it really does feel like a lived in world where people had to adapt to the virus and how they live now. And it was just really interesting to go back into that world. But there's just something about 28 days later, the grunginess, the action, the non-traditional zombies, how they're infected and they don't just, they just don't want to eat you. They want to like rip you apart. And that is terrifying. I just think that added so much to the genre, added so much to not just like zombies and stuff, but like horror. And not even horror. Like it like launched in a way Danny Boyle, the director's career in a sense. Cillian Murphy's in it. I mean, that launched him. That was the first movie I ever saw of him. And now he's this huge star, which if they make a third one, he's supposed to be back in that. So we'll see how that goes. But I think 28 Days Later has to be number one. I don't think it's the best made movie. I think the best overall well-made movie is 28 Years Later. But I think 28 Days Later was more iconic. I think it did a lot for the genre, and even now, like thinking about how the movie looked and how it makes you feel with just the visuals and the sound, it looks so like you shouldn't be watching it. Like that's how I feel about that movie, and if they can make me feel like that just visually, that's a solid horror movie in my eyes. That's essentially all I got for you today. Real quick, I have a few upcoming videos this week on the channel. I do a lot of recaps. If you're watching this and you haven't really seen my channel yet, I do a lot of recaps for you, TV shows, movies, just to get you a little bit up to date of what you need to know before you go see the movie. Because a lot of the times, these sequels aren't just the second one or even the third one necessarily in the franchise. Sometimes you got a season's worth. Sometimes you got multiple movies worth. So I go through and I make a really quick recap for you of the things that you need to know. It isn't a long 20-minute recap. It is a quick 10 minutes or less type of deal, just because a lot of people don't have time for this. They want to go see the sequel, but they don't have time for it. So upcoming videos I have on the channel. Like I said, tomorrow, 28 Years Later, take a look at that when that comes out. And then I have a Megan recap because the second Megan comes out next Friday, Megan 2.0, which looks absolutely insane. I don't even know if it's going to be good because of how insane and how tonally different it is. I thought we were going to get another, semi-thriller horror movie type of deal. No, we are getting a full-on action comedy. So I don't really, it looks insane. I am excited to see it because I want to see what they do with it. We'll see how that goes. But I do have my Megan recap that comes out Tuesday morning. So keep a lookout for that. And then I'll probably end up doing I don't know if I'm going to do a full-on review of Megan yet. I'm kind of like on the fence with that, if I'll do a full-on review or do kind of what I've been doing and doing comparisons and kind of more discussion-based stuff. So I haven't really decided on that. I think I'm going to go more comparison-based on Megan once I see it, because like I said, the second one is supposed to be completely different. It looks completely different, and I think I'd like to maybe compare them, and you kind of get a review in those anyway, right? And then next weekend, I'm gonna put it out a little bit early because Jurassic World Rebirth comes out next Wednesday. So probably Sunday or Monday-ish, I'll be putting out my Jurassic World recap. That one was a lot of fun to make. So keep a lookout for that. Chucky versus Megan. Okay. Real quick. Hold on. I like that. I'm gonna do a poll. Who would win? Everyone watching? Let's see. Who would win? I'm going to post a poll in the chat. If I had to pick, I'm not going to vote. Hello, Samantha. Nice to see you. If I had to pick between those two, I was going to say Chucky. I'm definitely going to say Chucky, but I think Megan might do it. I don't know. Chucky's like iconic. He is brutal. but so is Megan, and Megan can like do a bunch of weird, cool, crazy stuff. So, um, yeah, I'm not sure. That was a good one. Maybe I can make a video on that. Maybe I can make a video on that. But hello, Samantha. Nice to see you. You're new here. What's up, Slipknot fan? Slipknot's a good band. I like them. Never got to see them in concert though. I'd love to see them in concert. I bet they're pretty crazy, pretty wild. Um, let's see. So yeah, Slipknot fan Samantha, I just put out a poll of who would win in a fight, Megan or Chucky, because Megan 2.0 comes out next week. Okay, so yeah, so I think I would vote. I said Megan, but I don't know. You know what? Screw it. I'm going with my heart on this one. Chucky. We're going Chucky because Chucky is so devious. He's gonna be like 10 steps ahead of Megan. He's very quiet, and I don't think Megan would see him coming. And he just finds a way to win. He just always finds a way to win or come back, like whatever. And he's iconic. Like Chucky's the man. Chucky's the man. Okay. Yeah, now I'm gonna leave it up to all of you. Is there anything that y'all want to talk about? For anyone that's new here, I talk pretty much about every type of genre of movies. I talk about DCU, MCU. Horror is a big thing I'm really getting into and kind of wanting to discuss more. Really anything, really whatever. So Samantha, you haven't seen any of the Chucky and any of the Megan. So if I was going to say anything, I would say if you like horror movies, if you are into all that stuff, the gore, all that, definitely check out Chucky. Check out the first Child's Play and kind of go from there. Megan is definitely gonna be a lot more lighthearted, and it's still kind of scary and stuff, but that's a good entryway if you don't like horror. Check out Megan then. If you can deal with the horror, check out Chucky. Straight up. Do I prefer Marvel or DC at the moment? Definitely DC. Straight up DC. I love DC right now. What they're doing, and it is more. I'm more excited about DC. Let me just say that. Marvel, I was all in. I went to every premiere. I bought all the movies. I was all in on Marvel for the longest time, and then Endgame came, and I was still in on it. But then just every project after just never really grabbed me. Not every project. Like Shang-Chi was sweet. Thunderbolts really surprised me. So there are good things in that Marvel's still doing, but it just feels like it's too much. It's too much homework, and I'm just kind of falling out of it. But DC feels like a fresh start. I don't know a lot of the characters to the degree that I knew Marvel. I know a lot of the DC stuff. I'm definitely learning a lot. So I'm very much looking forward to what they're doing over at DC. She's a lot more advanced than Chucky. Like, Megan can do so many weird things. Like, it's hard to explain because in the movie, she is like an animatronic, and they do have that going on with her. But then there is also a person in some of the scenes that's dressed up. So the way that she moves, and there's a lot of weird, goofy stuff, how she dances, and she's very fast and strong. So like, there's a mix of like actual practical effects with her, plus there's a person in there. But then like the technology that they go into of what she can do, she's way more advanced than Chucky. She's also like 30 years newer. So there's that too. Samantha, you agree with the DC thing? Cool. Cool. I'm trying to decide for the new Superman thing because I'm so excited for that new movie. I might do like a week leading up to it. It comes out on the 11th. I'm gonna go on the 10th. But I have a video I'm working on like literally right now. I was doing it before the live stream of kind of what you need to know going into it for a lot of people that don't know what the Superman movie is. And then I was going to make about one or two more, maybe leading up to it. And then afterwards, I'll do some more with that because I'm really excited about it. And I hope a lot of you are too. So keep a lookout for those type of videos. I have a friend who's a die-hard Tony Stank fan. What do you think of RDJ's transition? Tony Stank. I mean, he built his suit in a cave full of scraps. I think it'd be foolish to have anything on your TV other than Tony Stark or Iron Man 1, 2, or 3. All right, let's see. I saw a damn good movie recently called Under the Shadow. It's about a mother and daughter in Iran being haunted by a jinn. It's filmed in Iranian language and English. Ooh. Okay. Give me. I'm gonna write that down because I'm gonna check that. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna watch the English dub. I learned that. I learned that watching Squid Game, the first season. I was watching with my wife, and we're like, we'll just watch it in the English. It's never the same. It's never the same. If you watch any movie, watch it with subtitles. It makes you stay off of your phone for one thing, but then also you just get the full like performance from the actors and actresses. So definitely do that. I'm gonna write this movie down because that sounds sick. Where can I watch that? I'll look it up. But if you saw it on a streaming service, let me know because that sounds sick. Um, can't wait to check it out and more reviews. Oh, thank you, Samantha. Thank you. I have tons of them. Let's see. It's on Daily Motion for free. If you want to see it, you gotta click the subtitles. Okay, I've never heard of Daily Motion. I actually thought that this movie Under the Shadow was gonna be on like Tubi. I've been checking out Tubi. No one talks about Tubi ever, and I think it's so funny. I was super late to checking out Tubi, where everyone goes straight to Netflix or Peacock or whatever they're on. Tubi has everything. I don't know if they have Netflix stuff because Netflix is like the top dog and they don't sell out their stuff to different streamers, but Tubi is fire and it's free. Like more people should be talking about that. Okay, I'll check that out. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out and see if it's on Tubi, but if not, I'll check out Daily Motion. Let's see. What is here? Actually, I'm gonna do another poll real quick because I want to see. Whoops, that's not what I needed. First of all, thank you all for joining on this live stream today. I'm gonna end the poll. Still trying to work out how to do all this. This is still new to me. What poll should I do? Okay, I got it. I got something for you. Bear with me. Let's see. So, if you didn't know, July is going to be a huge month in movies. So I just put out a poll asking you all, what of these three are you looking forward to most in July? It's like every week there's something huge coming out in July. I think of any questions and I'm glad I joined. That's okay. That is okay. This is kind of just open mic. I usually start off with a bunch of things to talk about, and I kind of ran through them real quick. I talked about Jurassic World and the first reactions, and the new Clayface movie in the DCU, how that got someone attached to it. Yeah, Jurassic World and Superman, definitely for me too. Dylan, what do I think is going to be the movie of the year? Oh, if Google's accurate, it says that. Okay, I'll check out that movie Slipknot on Tubi because that really does interest me. Dylan, what is going to be the best movie of the year? Well, that's hard to say, right? What's going to be the movie of the year? For me, Superman. Like I don't know if there's any other movie that I'm more excited for than Superman. Now, having said that, I will be the first one on here to say if it disappointed me or what didn't work for me or anything like that, because I'm gonna be super critical of this because it has to be good. Like just give us something good, something different. I'm gonna hold it to the same standard that I hold Marvel at right now. If Marvel fumbles and it doesn't work and it feels generic, I'm gonna say it. If DC does the same thing, I'm gonna say it. I just really hope that it is very good. So I don't know if that's probably gonna be my movie of the year if I had to foresee, had to look into the future and see that. I can't think of another one that's gonna be as big that I haven't seen already. Like in the fall, what do we have in the fall? We have Tron, which I don't know how that's gonna be. Jared, it's this weird thing with Jared Leto because he's in the movie, he's like the star. All of his movies flop and tend to not only flop but just really actually not be that good. So kind of weird with that. Wicked for Good, love the first Wicked. Surprisingly, Had no idea what I was walking into. Loved it. So maybe the next one will be good. Oh, actually, no, I lied. I got the movie. I got the movie now. Either Superman, and I might be alone in this, but Avatar. Avatar 3 comes out this Christmas, December, sometime in December. So that one's another one for me that I'm really looking forward to. But as far as July, it's got to be Superman. A Minecraft movie. Chicken Jackie. Uh, okay, so going back to that movie, watch it in pure darkness at night. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's hard for me to watch movies at night just with my schedule and just I get up early. Like this morning I got up at like 4 o'clock to work out and see my wife and get a bunch of stuff done and before she went to work and it's busy. But I actually in about a week or two, no, in about a week, I'm gonna have a lot of nights to myself. So I might check that out in about a week or so. Very much looking forward to that. So thank you for the suggestion. He's a good actor, but damn, he picks bad movies to be in. So you think Jared Leto's a good actor, but he has bad movies that he's in. Like, are they his fault? Because I saw what is it, Dallas Buyers Club with him in there, and he did awesome in that. Like that, like very weird, unconventional role, but phenomenal. Like he did a great job in that. The whole movie is great. Suicide Squad, there's that whole thing of his Joker was all of his stuff was cut. And I do think that's true. Like you have to believe that that is true because that isn't everyone is saying that was in that movie that is not the movie that they made. So a lot of things were cut and kind of formed into what we got. So maybe he was a good Joker. Like that's something that we'll never ever know is if he actually was going to be a good Joker. So we'll see how Tron turns out for him. Let's see. I want to see the Minecraft movie badly. Disney isn't doing very good right now. So the Minecraft movie just dropped yesterday on Max. So if you have Max, go check it out. It's on there. It's ready to go for you. Disney's not doing good right now. Yeah. Well, no, it's not doing good at all. Like if you look across the board, like I said earlier, the MCU. I still like the MCU. I'm still like gonna go see these movies, but my expectations are at the bottom. Even after Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was great. I will defend that movie to my dying day because that movie was fire. But that only barely raised my expectations for what Marvel's gonna give us. Like they have to go on a run to like build my confidence back up in them. So yeah. Now as far as the thing that they're getting right, the one movie right now is Lilo and Stitch. Like it's so close to making $1 billion. Like that is a home run. That movie was supposed to go straight to Disney Plus, and then they knew what they had. Which of course, I mean, name another Disney character. Well, you could probably name a lot of them, but Stitch is very marketable. So they made the right choice in putting it out in theaters. I never got to see it. My wife went to go check it out, and she said that she liked it a lot, and she feels exactly how I feel about these live action remakes. Not very good. Don't really like them, but Disney's kind of all over the place. Star Wars, like I'm just kind of all out on Disney. They got to win me back. Slipknot fan. I'm a DC fan, but I'm fed up with how Warner Bros. Has handled the IP. I'm currently boycotting them. I really enjoyed the Snyderverse and wanted them to finish it before unnecessarily gun reboot. They were in a weird place with that, man. Like, I'm both. I really liked what they were doing with that. I'm one of those defenders of Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition always. Um, did they nail everything right? No, they were kind of all over the place and really I think I mean the turning point was Justice League after Zack Snyder left and his vision was completely scrapped and Joss Whedon came in to give us that Justice League cuz Zack Snyder's Justice League is like top tier superhero movies for me. Like it's not the best. I'll need to make a list, but it's definitely very very high up there. And then the ending that the Snyderverse gave us was insane. But we're not going to get another one. So, kind of disappointing in that. I wish that there was some way to continue that with the new reboot. But we'll see. I get why you're upset. Completely understand. But I'm just going to roll with it of how they're doing everything now going forward because that's all I can do. That's all I can do. And I like James Gunn. I like what he's done with the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Suicide Squad. Peacemaker is probably my favorite. That and the first Guardians from him. Plus all of his crazy, crazy movies and shows that he's made prior to that. I'm gonna destroy my living room when I watch Minecraft. Oh man, just make sure no one else is in the room with you, Dylan. All right, Samantha, question mark. Yeah, I mean, just going back to the Disney thing, I don't think it's doing that good. Yeah, got a haircut. Got a haircut this week. Let's see. Okay, hold on. So we're talking about Thor again. I'm gonna end this poll. Looks like Superman won, most anticipated movie. I'm surprised that Jurassic World Rebirth didn't get at least one vote. That would have been my second for sure. All right, who would win? Who would win? Oops. Infinity War, Thor, or where was it? There we go. All right, everybody, have a new thing, a new poll going. Let's get this going. Now, if I had to pick, I'm still going to go Infinity War Thor with this one because, I mean, the dude just lost his brother, his home, everything. So he had like he just has that drive that I feel like wouldn't stop him for anything if he had to go up against Sentry. But okay, let me go back up to the comments. I think Leto must have been a good Joker. I'm sure David Ayer would have got a good performance. I'm sure he did because David Ayer, once again, is a good director. So the Suicide Squad had potential, but man, Warner Brothers really panicked after BVS because that's after BVS, Suicide Squad came out that fall, and from what we understand, they wanted to really mimic Guardians of the Galaxy, and because that's what was working over at Marvel, and the dark tones of BVS wasn't working, so they chopped up Suicide Squad. I really wish we got that cut. I would watch it in an instant because I like the new Suicide Squad, and the concept of the Suicide Squad is such a cool idea where they can do so much with it, and I really would have loved to see that version of that. Snyder had a raw deal with Warner Brothers. He wasn't given the creative freedom he needed. Yeah, I mean, he had a vision. Like he had a vision. He laid out his vision. Justice League 2 and 3, and that once again going back to that ending of the Snyder cut. I was ready to go. I could not believe that that's what they were ending on and what we were about to get. And I don't think they should have been copying Marvel necessarily in that moment. I liked how they were kind of going the opposite way of Marvel's this bright, hopeful thing, kind of goofy, kind of, childlike in some movies. And then you had DC over here being dark and gritty and violent. And like, I get that that's not what a lot of parents would want their kids watching. I get that. But I mean, it's better to be different than following the other person. It kind of created an identity for them. So hopefully the DCU can do the same. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Y'all are commenting so much. Okay, let's see. It's a good thing though. For the worst Marvel versus DC movies. Oh, so do a video on the worst Marvel versus the worst. Ooh, okay. Let me write that down. Worst Marvel movies versus the worst Marvel versus worst DC movies. I don't know who actually wins in that situation, but that's a cool idea. I like that one. I might make that one. Oh, thank you for the compliment on the haircut. My barber would be very happy to hear that. I don't know if he's watching right now, but if he is, he'll definitely like that. Saw Clown in the Cornfield recently. That wasn't bad. Okay, so I didn't make it to go see Clown in the Cornfield. I really wanted to. Just it did not pan out with like the show times and what I had going on that week. But man, I wanted to see that. I've heard mixed things, and I haven't read the book. Apparently, I'm not gonna spoil anything for anyone, but apparently it's one of those movies that changes. I guess I'll just leave it at that at some point during it. Definitely want to see that. I know it's on Shudder. So I might check that out. I don't have Shudder, but maybe I'll get that free trial and check it out. Okay. Infinity War Thor was God of Gods except or crying mommy simps. Yeah? All right. Okay. So Samantha, you heard that Thor was going to die. We kind of talked about that on the last stream of do we think Thor's gonna die? I don't know if he is or not. If you don't know, Chris, about 2 or 3 weeks ago when they started filming Doomsday. Chris Hemsworth put out this video on YouTube, very cryptic, very weird. It's like this montage of him playing Thor, and he basically had this long post saying how excited he was to be this character for so long and onwards to Doomsday. But it just felt very weird and kind of, once again, ominous. So people are saying that he may die. Don't really know how I feel about it. I know Jayden here loves Thor, and I don't know if he would like if he does die, because he can't, I don't know if he can die, but we'll see. But if he was to, who delivers the blow? Is it Doom? That would actually be pretty cool. Make us really hate Doom by killing off a very likable hero like that. That might be what they're going for. But we'll see. We'll see. We got about, well, they moved the date, so over a year and a half until we find out. I'm way behind on the MCU stuff. I wouldn't know who's more powerful. Yeah, MCU, I don't watch any of the Disney Plus shows because I just don't care anymore. I just really don't. It's hard to get excited for their stuff, and I hate saying that. I don't want to be that person, but I got to be real here. I'm one of those people that just lost interest in their stuff. Samantha, I don't think they're going to put DC and Marvel together. They might. During the press stuff for Superman, James Gunn was asked if that's a possibility, and he did say that there are talks on it, but he's like probably not. So because it's not just him. If him and Kevin Feige were able to do whatever they wanted to, guaranteed that would probably not guaranteed, but that would probably happen. But when you have greedy Disney and greedy Warner Brothers above them, it's not going to happen. It's just not. I don't even know how that would look. What would the story be? I don't even know what the story would be to mesh together with both whatever's going on either side, because it would have to match whatever they're building up to. Which, that's another thing. I always talk about this. I always get so into this, but real quick, I don't know how I feel about this shared universe anymore. Of this thing builds on this thing, and just you have to do all the homework, right? You were saying that you are not caught up on all the Marvel stuff. Who is? Only the die-hard Marvel fans are caught up, up until, what is it? Thunderbolts, and then they're gonna watch the show that's coming out, Ironheart. They watch everything, which is fine. I'm glad that you like this stuff, but it's so much stuff to catch up on, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I really don't. Let's see. Me and some other fans are still campaigning for the Ayer cut to get released. I want to see the Ayer cut, but I feel if it hasn't come out yet, I don't know if it will, unfortunately. But keep it up. The fans made the Snyder cut happen. They pushed, and we got a really good movie out of it. Regardless of how you feel about Zack Snyder and his movies and his vision and all that stuff, we got a good movie out of it. I love that movie. I think Thor will not die, but I know it's a wild theory, but they're going with love for next Thor. They did that with She-Hulk. Is Love a character? I don't know who that. You knew that from last stream. I don't really know a lot of them. It brought up Love and Thunder. I don't want that. Either way, I'll have to look at that. All right, later, Dylan. Thanks for tuning in. So my I just started streaming about 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to make it every Saturday about this time. What I'm gonna do is, if I can't make it, or if I will make it, either one, I'll put a community post out. So check those out about a day before, and I'll let you know what's gonna happen. But unless something pops up, I should be here every Saturday. That's what I'm really shooting for, because I like talking with you all. This is a lot of fun. So thank you all for being here and commenting. Let's see. I never know anymore. I can't with Marvel. I never know anymore. I can't with Marvel anymore. Yeah, once again, I hate it. I hate that I have to say that, but it's true. It's not exciting anymore. And even when it is exciting, I was campaigning hard after I saw Thunderbolts, and a lot of people were. I was seeing everyone talking about how good that movie was, and it still bombed. It bombed at the box office, even though it made a lot of money. It made a lot of money, but it didn't make back its budget. So it was a failure for Marvel. And maybe it put a lot of... but I guess it's not really a failure in a sense of it got me on board, more excited for their upcoming stuff, which isn't saying a lot, like we talked about, but it's so hard to get excited for this because then who's to say that Fantastic Four is going to be good? Just because Thunderbolts was good doesn't mean that Fantastic Four is going to be good. I actually don't think that Fantastic Four is going to be like Thunderbolts level good. It might be fine. The trailers aren't doing it for me, and I really wish they were, but they're not. Yeah, Fantastic Four looks okay, but that might benefit it. If I'm feeling that way, I might end up having the bar down here, and I might actually really enjoy it. Let's go back. As I'm saying, Thor might retire, but he can't die. Love can take his place, like Sam. I mean, that's what I liked about Endgame. How, yes, Iron Man died, but then Captain America just went back in time and got to live his life. I like how these characters don't necessarily have to die. That seems like a very lazy way, if that's always the case. Like, that seems like a very lazy way to write these characters out. So maybe they just go off and do their own thing. Kind of like at the end of Guardians, how they all split up and went and lived their life. Like that a lot. So maybe that's what happens with Thor. Who knows? On Rune King Thor versus Man of Steel. Well, like you were showing me, Jaden, you were showing me last week, or you're telling me last week about Rune King Thor, how he's like the most powerful version of Thor. Thor's a god, and if it's the most powerful version of Thor, I think it's based off of what you told me, I'll go King Thor. But Superman's strong. Like, Man of Steel is strong. So, and I don't even know like canon in the comics, whatever it is, like the most powerful version of him. But I'll go Thor. I'll go Thor on that, just based off of what you've told me of that character. Oh, Love is the Daughter of Gore. I saw Love and Thunder. I cannot stand that movie. I'm trying to erase it from my memory as much as I like Thor. I don't like that movie at all. I don't remember what she did. As far as to make me think of that she can take on the role of Thor. I just remember her being there. I just remember a bunch of kids, and Thor gives them his powers to take down Gore. Right? That's the person we're talking about, right? The girl at the end of Love and Thunder. Are you into shark movies? Yes and no. That's not a genre that I go out and look for, but when I find a good one, it's a banger, right? Jaws is amazing. 50th anniversary this year. So sick. I was really late to the game. Like, Jaws, I think, was like the last shark movie that I saw. I saw it like a year or two ago, which is crazy. I have a channel based on movies, but I just saw Jaws. But anyway, Jaws is a banger. The first one I ever saw was Deep Blue Sea. Like that one a lot. What's that one? 47 Meters Down. I actually dug that one. There's a movie with Blake Lively where she's stuck on a rock, and I heard that was pretty decent. But once again, I'm all for it. I have nothing against them. It's just that's not a genre that I outwardly go and look for. But they're cool. They're scary. They're scary because I like the older I get. I don't know why this is. And it's just, I don't think it has anything to do with age. It's just something that I noticed is that the older I get, the ocean freaks me out. Like the unknown of what's beneath me freaks me out. And I don't know if I've been in the ocean since, but like, just, yeah, the more I think about it, the worse it gets. Samantha, I'm glad you're having so much fun. I am having a lot of fun too. I love talking with you all and just getting to know you all. Slipknot fan. Do you like American Psycho? I'm about to piss you off. No, not really. But I watched, that's another movie, kind of like Jaws, where it's a cult classic. I haven't, for whatever reason, I never got around to seeing it. And then I finally watched it, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if I was just not in the right mindset or what it is. I just couldn't really get into it, right? A lot of people like this. I've talked to a lot of people, like, at work, my friends, they do like that movie. And I actually get why a lot of people like that movie. It's so weird and unhinged, and it's cool. It's cool. It's just not one that I really enjoyed. But they are making a remake. I think they're remaking it soon. So, in Last of Love and Thunder, they both let leap at aliens. So I reckon that love. Oh, that's right. That final shot where they both jumped in. Oh yeah, that's right. She was wielding Stormbreaker. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess she can take over. But here's the other thing with someone taking over, and this is something that I hope the DCU fixes that the MCU, like one of my biggest criticisms lately with the MCU, is that they'll show us this they'll start a story thread, right? And they won't pick up on that story thread until about 4 or 5 years later. Which is fine, but when you have all these other projects in between, you forget that that thing was happening or why that's important and all that stuff. So I hope that the DCU kind of whatever happens in Superman kind of carries on within like 2 years. And it could be in another project and it could be mentioned. Like, I don't really know exactly what I'm trying to say, but like things need to be like, I couldn't remember Love. Like, who was Love? What happened at the end of Love and Thunder? Because it happened so long ago, right? These story threads need to be like picked back up on really quick. So hopefully that's fixed. But yeah, now I do remember. And if she can wield Stormbreaker, I don't see why not. Like, Thor's gonna go. Like, Chris Hemsworth's Thor is gonna go at some point, so might as well. And she's a kid, so like, she'll be that character for a very long time if they choose to use her. Let's see. You know what Chris said about Dwayne Johnson and Jason Momoa? The goats from those goats from Love and Thunder were weird, but funny. He was asked who's better action hero between the two. He said they're both good action heroes. Would I kick both their asses? Yes. That's a Chris Hemsworth. Okay, everybody. I love these polls. I really like doing these polls with y'all. I'm gonna do how do I put this? I guess, yeah, we do a lot of who would win. We're gonna do all right. Let's see. So I put this out. Who would win? And even not, you can even like type in the comments of whose movies you would act, I can't talk. I'm getting tired talking. Whose movies do you like more? Chris Hemsworth, Dwayne Johnson, or Jason Momoa? For me, I think it's gonna be Jason Momoa. There's just something about his movies. Yeah, I talk about this a lot. There's a lot of actors and actresses where there's just something about them when you go and see one of their movies that you just like. Like, they have that charisma. And for me, Jason Momoa has that charisma. Like, sure, he plays the same character a lot of the time. Like, I haven't seen Minecraft yet, so I can't talk about that. But like in Fast X, there's Aquaman, and there's a movie I cannot think of right now. Anyway, he plays the same character across the board, just like a lot of these people do. But there's just something about his movies that I do tend to like. Let's see, how are we looking? No Dwayne Johnson. Which in all reality, dude's huge, so he might win, but I don't know if he can fight. There's so many factors. We'll do action hero. Yeah, we'll do action hero. Of who's like a better action hero. Can I edit this and see that? No, I can't. So action hero. Not WWE, because that's like Dwayne Johnson all day. Yeah, Aquaman was sick. Have I seen Morbius? Although it has its problems as a film, it's been memed like crazy. I still found it to be enjoyable. I have not seen Morbius, and that's another like the Sony universe, the Sony Spider-Man thing. Man, so I didn't see Morbius because I'm not a big fan of Venom. I don't like those movies like at all. I'll always remember I was at my buddy's house. It was me, my wife, him, and his wife, and we were watching it, and the movie ended. And I was a big Marvel guy. I like Spider-Man. I love all that stuff. I'm like the nerd. Me and my buddy are like the nerds. Movie ended. Everyone's talking. They're like, oh, that was pretty good, blah, blah, blah. And I look around, I was like, I hated that movie. And then I saw the second one, Let There Be Carnage. I like that one a little bit more. I think it was just a little bit more fast paced. At least even though Carnage was still not done right, at least we got Carnage. It was rated PG-13, which they couldn't really go into those characters enough. So I liked it more than the first one. And then I saw Last Dance. And I remember when Last Dance came out, about a month or so, the first reactions came out, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, it's the best movie! It's the best of the trilogy!" All this stuff, and I was like, "Oh, maybe they're cooking now." And I went to go see it, and me and my friend went to go see it, and we looked at each other like, "Is it really this bad?" And then there was this lady in the theater laughing at every joke, and we were so confused of how people are enjoying this movie. But if you enjoy Venom, that's fantastic. I just could not get into that, so that kind of spoiled um, the Sony universe for me. So I haven't really kept up with those at all. Um, so no, I haven't seen Morbius. I want to see Craven. I heard that was like the worst one of all of them, but that was one that I wanted. Actually, no, I did see Craven. I did see Craven. Didn't like it. So now it's over. Now the Sony universe is over. So whatever is going to happen next, we'll see. How do I get rid of that? There we go. Okay. Let's see. Bro, but one thing, Chris didn't just play Thor, but he became Thor. Yeah, he did. Have you seen, I'm sure you have you seen Chris Hemsworth before he was Thor? He was in Cabin in the Woods and all these like smaller movies, and then he became Thor, and like the dude got huge for that role. It's insane. Oh yeah, Chris Hemsworth in Extraction. I never saw the second one. But the Extraction, the first one was sick. That was a good one. Apparently, he wants the director of Extraction to do the next Thor. Whether there's going to be another Thor or whatever, who knows? But that one was one that I really did enjoy. So, Rabbit, fire up the pod. Yeah, Samantha, if you didn't like the other Venom movies, this one's not going to do anything for you. Like Venom is hardly in it. Oh my god, I could go on for days. I could seriously go on for days of how much I just dislike that movie, of the choices that they make and just everything about that. Like, if you don't like the other ones, you're not gonna like this. Let's see. For me, honestly, Infinity War was better than Endgame with a slight. I agree. I liked Infinity War a lot more. Not a lot more. The slight edge. I think it did what it was doing better than Endgame, and I think it was just more fun than Endgame. I think that there was a lot. It was just better, you know. Yeah, when Loki, Samantha, you're talking about the scene where Loki dies in Endgame or Infinity War. I liked how that was the opening. It really put in that like, oh, this is that guy. What Thanos did. That's that guy that we've been following this whole time, like a little bit here and there. Now we can see what he can do. I thought that was a good opening. Cabin in the Woods is so good. Yes, Samantha. Yes. Thank you. Cabin in the Woods is one of my favorite like horror comedies because of how creative it was. Like, I love that. And I love showing people that. And that's one of those movies where you either love it or you hate it. And I definitely love it. That's definitely one that I love. Let's see. Yeah, I saw him before Thor. He was into a TV show, right? And reality show like Dance One. Yeah, he was. Chris Hemsworth was a person before he was Thor, and he looked a lot different. Yeah, see, and then Carnage, Samantha, like you were saying, Carnage had Woody Harrelson. Like, he's one of those actors that has the charisma too. Not like an action hero charisma, but he like has that presence on screen. So him as Cletus Cassidy, that was pretty cool. Let's see. In Infinity War, almost every character was at peak except Green Friend. Dude, how did Marvel botch the Hulk? How do you botch a character like that? Like, that's a character which you can get deep, you can get into the psyche of this person dealing with this and not being able to get angry and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, just get him angry and send him on his way, and we will love it. And I can't believe that they botched it. And he's the last time we got him was Ragnarok, which was before Endgame or Infinity War. Like, it's been, when did hold up. Uh Thor Ragnarok came out in 2017. We are almost a decade. We are almost a decade since the last time we got a proper Hulk. Crazy. Which well, to be fair, I guess we got that opening of Infinity War, but it was so fast. I'm not going to count it when I talk about this. But it's been almost a decade since we got an actual Hulk. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Um, Aquaman 2, Samantha, no, it's not. It is not a good movie. And I really thought it was gonna be cool. Like that was Aquaman 2 was like I like Aquaman. I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I like the world they were building, but they had a lot of jokes. It just felt like a really like a buddy cop movie with him and his brother. It's like they're going on this mission. And what I was really looking forward to in Aquaman 2 is Black Manta being the main villain. Like such a cool character as far as DC characters go, as far as the villains go, the motivation that he had to get revenge after the opening scene of Aquaman. Like I was with him. I thought it was cool. They botched that character too. They botched the villain. There was literally nothing going for that movie. It was an awful way to kind of end the DCU with, because that was the last movie, like in canon. That was the last movie that they released. It was Aquaman 2, and it was terrible. Blue Beetle was good though. If you haven't seen that, Blue Beetle was a lot of fun. Doesn't do anything new, but it's a lot of fun. They had to nerf Thor in Endgame so they could make at least a 2-hour movie. They had to nerf him in Endgame. I don't think so. I don't think. Well, I mean, if you want to describe like what you're talking about, but as far as how they used Thor in Endgame, no, I thought that he was used great. I think I loved seeing how at the beginning he was this depressed dude because he didn't go for the head, and now this is he had a chance to stop this, but it's just really cool. Like once again, the writing is pretty good. Like for the MCU for the most part because he lost his world to Hela and the giant dude. Can't think of his name right now. And then he lost his brother to Thanos. And then Thanos not only did he not get his revenge on Thanos, but then Thanos wiped away half of humanity. Like, so he's sitting there upset, like focused. Like, I love that part about him. And then when he came back at the end, it just showed how strong and how well prepared Thanos was. So I thought they used him really well. Samantha, go check out Aquaman. Like don't let what I say dictate what you should go see because you may end up liking it. There's movies that people like that I don't like and vice versa. So never take what I say as like, okay, I'm not gonna go watch that necessarily because you owe it to yourself, especially if you want to see it. If it's a movie that you can kind of do without, like sure, like I do that too. If I hear bad things about it, I won't go check it out. But if you want to go see it, check it out. Should be on Max. Um, Aquaman 1 was subjective, to be honest. Um, like, do you want to explain that a little bit more? As far as like what they were trying to do with it. Um, let's see. Slipknot fan. I like the first Venom. It had a good level of seriousness, but they ruined the second by making everything comedic, which is the last thing that they should be doing when dealing with the Venom or the villain like Carnage. Yeah, well, there's that PG-13. There's that PG-13 rating, but then there's also you have to remember that these movies have to appeal to a wide audience. At the end of the day, it's a comic book movie and they want the money, right? Sony wants the money. I get it. Disney wants the money. That's why you don't see a lot of R-rated Disney MCU movies, which I don't think there is one. No, I don't think there is one. I think the most adult thing that they've done is the new Daredevil show, from what I can think of. Um, Kind of going off of that though, as far as like the money aspect of it, why do they have to feel the need to throw all of this money at like a story like the story of Venom Let There Be Carnage? The story is very basic. The story is very like you don't need a lot of effects in my eyes. You don't need like to go crazy with it. Like they could have focused more on the story and a little bit less on the effects, drop the budget down and make it rated R. Like look at Logan. Look at Logan. Look at because I know Logan, Hugh Jackman helped I think fund it, or he took a pay cut. He did something to help the budget so that it could be rated R and they could do what they wanted to do. So I wish more movies did that. I know the new DCU movie, the Clayface movie, that is going to be rated R. That's a hard R, and the budget's like 40 million. So it's very, very small because, of course, like a lot of people don't know who that is. And if anyone's watching this, maybe you don't know who that is. But that's what I think more studios should do. And who's going to complain? At the end of the day, who's going to complain about a story? Who's going to complain about the movie if the story is fantastic and you like the characters and there's like not as much action as you typically would see? I would much rather have a better story than over the top action and just give us a good movie overall. I went on a little rant right there. Sorry. Let's see. Samantha, are you talking about the new Superman that's coming out in July? Because I don't know if it's made that much. I bought my tickets. Did you? Does anyone here? Did they get your tickets yet for Superman for next month? Yeah, Jaden, that scene was sick. Once again, like Thor really wanted the revenge on that guy, like, and rightfully so. Like no one was done dirty like Thor in the MCU, straight up. Yeah. So Mac, the Clayface movie is being made. So very weird. I know. One thing that, if you don't know this about the new DCU, James Gunn is saying that nothing is going to be made. He has plans of these characters and these stories that he wants to make, but nothing is going to get made until the script is fully complete and fully up to, standard of what he wants. So Mike Flanagan, one of my favorite writers and directors, pitched him an idea. He liked it. He wrote the script. He submitted it, and James Gunn said, "Let's do it." So that's the first movie that kind of came out of nowhere that was never in the plans, is what he's saying. So you can kind of expect to see more of that in the future of these movies that, you know how these studios pan out. They tell us the next 10 years, or we'll say 5 years of upcoming projects. Well, it sounds like if someone can pitch him something and he likes it, like it's gonna get made in there. Like it's just gonna find its way in there. Um, he did say in an interview last week, there's a lot of press going on for Superman, but he said that he didn't drop any names, but he said a very well-known actor, a very, someone that everyone knows, pitched him an idea for a movie, for an Elseworlds movie. So it's not going to be in his canon of DCU. But James Gunn said he likes where he's going with it. He said, but if he can get him a script, they'll do it. But it has to be a masterpiece to do it. So hopefully we're getting more quality over at DC, and hopefully Marvel gives us more quality too. But yes, we are getting a Clayface. To answer your question, yes, we're getting a Clayface movie before Batman. Let's see. Yeah, movies are tough when it's crowded. I love going to the movies. I usually go opening nights if I can. If not, I'll go the next day on Friday mornings before work. And usually it's pretty mellow in there. And the more people that are in the theater, the chances of someone being loud, annoying, whatever it may be, that those go up, and I hate that. So I don't blame you. I don't blame anyone if they're gonna wait for a movie to come out and then go check it out like a week or two later. It's less crowded. You get to enjoy yourself more. Definitely do it. And yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine was rated R, and that was a high budget movie too. So the rated R thing, it can work. It can work. I just think you have to be careful of how you use it on which characters. Going back to our previous point of Venom and Carnage, like that's when you use it. Like that is when you use a rated R thing. It's not going to stop anyone from going. It's probably going to make more people go because you're going to see that PG-13 and be like, how can you translate a character like that to PG-13? And then we got the result that we got, and it wasn't that good. So sometimes I feel like making it rated R is going to benefit the studio, but we'll see. It's the 20th highest grossing movie of all time, Deadpool and Wolverine. I did not know that, which makes sense. I mean, it dominated. That was the movie of the summer last year. That thing was huge, and I really enjoyed it initially. And then as time went on, I was like, oh, there's actually nothing really there, story-wise. Cameo-wise, great. I had a lot of fun. I laughed my ass off in that. It was a lot of fun. I liked that movie. But at the end of the day, it was just a lot of cameos. Infinity War, Thor versus Incredible Hulk. I'm gonna go Hulk. Because Hulk, did Thor ever beat? Well, I don't. Damn it, dude. Because I was gonna say I don't think Thor ever beat Incredible Hulk in the first Avengers, and then Hulk was beat by the Hulkbuster in Age of Ultron. So yeah, I guess I'd go Thor. I think I'd go Thor with that one. Samantha, my favorite cartoon. Well, I don't like currently. My favorite cartoon currently. Growing up, I loved Dragon Ball Z. Like that was. I'm not a big anime guy, but that was the show that I watched religiously. I have all of the. I have like the box set of the Dragon Ball Z. I don't have GT or Dragon Ball, but I have all those. And I was a really young kid. I liked Pokemon. I liked Rugrats, stuff like that. But now, um, I don't really watch cartoons necessarily. I kind of just watch stuff that pops up. I liked Rick and Morty for a long time. I kind of fell out of that. If it's on, I'll watch it, or like maybe one of these days I'll throw it back on. But now I'll like throw on like Creature Commandos. That is DC, and I know I'm not trying to go in that realm yet, but like I kind of go towards that, like more adult stuff. South Park. South Park is a show that will never get old. I went to Thailand earlier this year, and we were coming home. And I ran out of movies to watch, like ones that I really kind of wanted to watch. And plus, I just watched a bunch on the plane and like a 15-hour flight. So I was like, I need something new. South Park was on there, threw that on, always a good time. Let's see. Okay. RJ, yes, I'm the plant abuser. This one's doing good though, the snake one. I mean, that's what we were talking about before, but I mean, it's still alive. It's still alive being watered, so. Yeah, I did shut off the stream. I had to go. I had to go last time. Yeah, so and we are getting to that point again, not to be that guy, but we are getting there. Let's see. So go ahead and get that going. Hulk is not resisting Stormbreaker, so definitely Ironworm. Yeah, see. Okay, do you think that what's the best version of Thor that we've, or not Thor, Hulk that we've gotten? Because the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, like that Hulk was the Hulk that I loved. Like that Hulk was just pure rage. I really like that one. I wish that we kept that up. But then again, like they did do a good job in Avengers and in Ultron, even Ragnarok. Like we got good ones. But I just feel like Thor has not been done right. Still hasn't been done right. Let's see. You're not trying to get into DC. No, I am trying to get into DC. I'm very much into DC. I'm just trying to give an example of my favorite cartoons. Like I went through and talked about my childhood cartoons and all that stuff, but like what I'm doing now. And now, as far as shows go, I'll throw on like Young Justice or what did I just say? Creature Commandos, like stuff like that. Kind of like in the background. But as far as cartoons go, oh, I lied to you all. I lied to you all. I just finished watching Invincible. Caught up. I went the longest time without seeing Invincible. Threw on Invincible. Plowed through like the first 2 seasons. Loved it. Loved every second. And right in time for season 3 actually. And then I watched season 3. I waited because I don't like the week by week thing. I waited a little bit. And then right before the final episode, binged them all like a day or two before that came out. Then I watched it, or it was something similar to that. But Invincible is a cartoon. Very much, I like that one a lot. Let's see. But you know, I love DC. I'm very like that is definitely where I'm pivoting right now. Is plus Norton is a higher caliber actor in my opinion. Then Ruffalo, I'm not gonna argue that. I'm not gonna argue that at all. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. I'm going through the the comments. I'm talking about Snake Plant right there when I said snake. And then yeah, as far as Edward Norton goes, yeah, I mean Edward Norton, he's been in a lot of good stuff. Like, but they both have. I kind of look at them as kind of the same. Let's see. Oh yeah, Jonathan. Yeah. So that's what I was talking about as far as cartoons that I've been watching like kind of throughout the years. Rick and Morty. Which what do they? What is Rick and Morty on now? Whoops. Because I watched it pretty religiously for like 3 or 4 seasons. 8 seasons. Good lord, I'm behind by like 5 seasons. It's insane. Um, let's see. So will Momoa playing Lobo make his appearances as Aquaman seem weird now? To me, no. But that's something that I always wonder for like the general audience of, I don't know, just people that don't follow the DC, what DC is becoming, the DCU, and keep up with all the news, kind of like I do, and I'm assuming you all do. Um, for me, it's not going to be weird because I know the context of this is a brand new thing going forward. But I think it might throw a lot of other people off potentially. Um, I actually wonder. There's a scene in the new Superman trailer where you see someone kind of using their laser vision towards Superman. I don't know if Lobo can do that, but if you look kind of close, it kind of resembles him with long hair and stuff. So maybe Lobo makes an appearance in Superman. I don't know. I don't really know how they're gonna go about explaining that to everybody, but for me, no, I understand that. I'm actually making a video right now talking about kind of what you need to know going into the new Superman movie, and I explain that this is a brand new universe. So hopefully people will see that and kind of more so understand because it is confusing. I understand that. Courage the Cowardly Dog is better than Pokemon. That's another show. I was all in on Cartoon Network. That's Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken. I haven't seen those shows in so long, but man, they were weird. They were weird. And actually, I bet if I went back and watched them now, they're actually better because of all the adult humor and stuff like that. But no, Courage the Cowardly Dog was amazing. I loved that show. Yeah, I grew up in episodes weekly, but I got spoiled. The entire season dumps. Yeah, I prefer just give me the whole season. I want to binge that thing over the weekend. I want to binge it in one day, whatever it may be. That's a lot of TV, a lot of shows, but that's how I like to do it because what I find that happens is you'll watch a show one week and then really good, right? But then life happens and maybe you miss the next week's episode. So then you have to binge the two. But then, even not even in that scenario, you have to wait a full week before you pick up on the story thread. And I think, and one thing I noticed that didn't work this way was Creature Commandos. I watched that every was it Wednesday, every Wednesday or Thursday that it dropped, and the fact that it was like a 20 to 30 minute show, those weeks in between did not work for me. I hated that long because it doesn't feel like you're kind of rewarded or it doesn't really feel worth it after you wait so long to watch the next episode. It doesn't work that well for the 30 minutes. For the hour longs, it's better. I just like to binge it though. Let's see. Y'all are typing a lot. Samantha, Rick and Morty, it's a certain type of humor for sure. Check out the first episode if you like it. It is on Max. If you like it, that's what the show is. If you don't like it, I don't know if you'll want to keep watching it, but it's funny. It's a funny, stupid show. I like it. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, Samantha, you want to go see How to Train Your Dragon. All right. I loved it. I loved How to Train Your Dragon. And we were kind of like going back to the Disney thing. I don't like the live action remakes. I was actually talking to my wife this morning about this. The live action remakes don't really hit for me. And I don't know if that's the case for a lot of people, but my whole thing with it is that the Disney ones specifically, I grew up with that. Lion King is my favorite Disney movie of all time, and that'll never change because of the nostalgia, right? I'm very protective of that. So, here's what I want you to think about. That movie, when they did the live action remake, was a full on, beat for beat, shot for shot, it felt like, remake of the original, which is cool. That's what a remake is, right? But I hated it. I hated every second of it. So I don't really know how to feel about live action remakes, right? Like, do I want them to change things? I've said that on the channel before. If you're gonna make a remake, let's go ahead and add something to it. Let's make it worth making. But then if they do the exact same shot for shot remake, I should have loved The Lion King, but I didn't. I hated it. So it's kind of like this lose-lose situation. But as far as How to Train Your Dragon goes, that movie was great. I loved it. Now I didn't grow up with it. I was very, very, very late to it. I stopped watching, or I didn't stop watching animated stuff back then, but I was just late. I was just straight up. I was late to seeing How to Train Your Dragon. I saw it about 5, 6 years ago. So I'm not like a die-hard fan. So having said that, when I went to go see the new one about a week or two ago, blew my mind. The scenes, it does seem to be a shot for shot or a scene for scene remake of the original. So if you like that, you're gonna love this. Um, my thing is like the story is one of the best stories ever. So don't change that, and they didn't. But what they added was a little bit more personality, and I really liked seeing the actual people, the actors and actresses, because it gave it a little bit more personality. And it, for me, this is all for me. People might disagree with that, but I just clicked with these characters more. And then why can't I think of his name? Gerard Butler. He voiced Stoic in the original. He plays Stoic in this one, and he nails it. Even Astrid, even Astrid. There was a tons of controversy because she was not this blonde Viking, very very different from that. But the way that she played the character, nailed it. So go check it out. I highly recommend How to Train Your Dragon. Let's see. Let's see. Pokemon's the best. Okay, as a Rick and Morty fan, have you wanted Rick and Morty and the Eternity Nightmare Machine? If you haven't, then do you see your favorite and type that in? Kind of nervous to do that, Jonathan, but I might have to do that. All right, I'm not gonna do it now, but I'll check that out. Okay. Let's see. I do have to get going, y'all. Here in about a few minutes. I do have work today, so I do need to go do that, unfortunately. But let's see. Let's see what a lot of people are saying now. So, I hear the new Lilo and Stitch is good. And I talked about that earlier. My wife saw it; she really dug it. So I might check that out, maybe on a plane or something. But I'm not going to go out of my way to check that out. There's a lot of comments in here. Yeah. Sorry if I couldn't get to all of your comments. Sorry, I wanted to answer as many as I could and just kind of give you to the time and talk about it. But y'all are typing quick. I got to be faster, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I want to do these live streams for, is learn to do this. This is only my third live stream, so I'm very new to this. But thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for coming out and checking this out and talking with me about this. I should be back next Saturday with more topics, and I might put a post out on the community threads to come up with topics to talk about. Like I go through, what I do for this is I go through and I kind of see what the news is and um, write down topics that like I want to talk about, but then I always open it up to all of you. So I might put a post out announcing that it's going to happen and what time. It's going to be around the same time, but put your put what you want to talk about in the comments. That way we can I can have like a list going on. That way we can really hit on everything y'all want to talk about. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I am taken. Yes, been taken. Been with her for since 2012. So we've been together for a very long time. Oh, okay. So that video, that Rick and Morty thing, is an 8-bit. Okay, I'll check that out. 8-bit art is so cool. I love that stuff. Okay, I'll check it out. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Samantha. Oh yeah, real quick before I leave, what Jaden's saying, go watch the Avengers. I watched that. He suggested that last week. It's gnarly. It's weird. It's not bad or anything. It's just it's weird. It's weird. It's so weird. Let's see. RJ, you keep it up. You keep that up, okay? Keep that up. Let's see. Okay. I think I'm going to head out, y'all. But thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate that. All right. I'm going to head out, y'all. Thank you again so much for checking this out and clicking the video or swiping or however you found this. I don't even know how this works necessarily, but I will be back next Saturday, same time. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you next time.